Facebook. I use Twitter. I can't get 5 people to come see my show. I can't get anyone to help harvest my fucking crops. I can't get any of the women who know me to poke me back. And they topple the government with this shit. What am I doing wrong? But the best part about the whole thing in Egypt is watching Glenn Beck lose his goddamn mind. Isn't that great? Oh, man. Is it just me, or when Glenn Beck goes off on one of his little conspiracy theories, he looks like a 5th grader trying to bluff his way through a book report? It's like, oh, I can tell you what the red badge of courage meant. It was all about tyranny? Because check this out. The book is ½ inch thick. You know what else was ½ inch thick? Mein Kampf. Think about it. And then he goes up to the chalkboard and writes whatever comes to his pea-brain fucking mind. But it was like, Glenn Beck last week, he went on the Bill O'Reilly show. You know, to talk about all his conspiracy theories, that the whole thing in Egypt is the start of this new world order, and Bill O'Reilly cleaned his fucking clock. It was brilliant. Because it's just like, you know, when Bill O'Reilly thinks you've gone too far, you've gone too fucking far. Bill O'Reilly doesn't know where the fucking moon came from. Go home and Google moon and Bill O'Reilly and just pop some popcorn, because it's a fucking treat. Where does the moon come from? Tell me that. It's called fucking asteroids, motherfucker. Ah. Sorry. It infuriates me but fascinates me at the same time. Like, you know, like whenever, like when I'm watching like Fox News or something like that, I always love it when they have like Pat Buchanan or Pat Robertson on there, and they have to give, you know, they have to tie everything back to Jesus. That's just fucking, it's just fucking brilliant. But it's just like, why do, isn't it a little bit arrogant to think that Jesus gives a shit about our political beliefs? Because let's face it, the last time that guy got involved in government, it didn't work out too well for him. You know, it's like, I'm king of the Jews. Well, that's super. Tough crowd. If anybody's offended by that, I'm sorry, but I will tell you that a great story of comeuppance. I was, the first time I ever did that joke on stage, when I went in for the second, you know, like that, I whacked the living shit out of my knuckle. And not only that, but the metal mesh on the microphone left an indentation of a cross right there. I was like, well played, Lord. I put that up against any comic's worst heckler story. It's like, fuck you, I was heckled by God. It's good to be here. It's kind of weird to be back at a bar, because a few months ago I gave up drinking. Gave up drinking. I gave up drinking heavily, okay? I'll still go out and have a beer from time to time. I'm just no longer going up to the bartender and say, yeah, let me get a bottle of scotch and a funnel. Yeah, it's not that I had a very serious drinking problem, it's just the last time that I got really, really drunk, I had a little bit of an accident. You know, little baby girl, 6 pounds, 9 ounces. Just became a first-time dad, yeah. I'm a DILF, thank you. That speaks more about you, Pete, than me, geez. It was something that kind of happened one night, and it's like my friends were all just like, it was like when I was starting to tell my friends that I was going to be a dad, like they were really excited for me, but at the same time they were going like, oh, Fritschie, you're usually so smart about these things. Why weren't you wearing a condom? And I was going like, dude, I was so drunk that night, I was lucky to have fucking liver function. It's like, I don't know how I consummated this act. It was just like, you know, most guys that have too much to drink, they have a hard time getting up. I apparently don't have that problem. But I will tell you this, fellas, if you're ever going to take away a permanent souvenir from a drunken one-night stand, a baby is the one you want to have. You know? Like, I'll take poopy diapers over a Valtrex prescription any day of the week.
Dang.
And Smitty saves the day. My daughter, Zoa Carlin Fritschie, ZOACARLINFRITSCHIE. People ask me how he came up with that name. I tell them the truth, that I accidentally spilled a bowl of alphabet cereal on a Scrabble board and went, hey, this could work. Well, what does it mean? It means triple word score. Shut the hell up. Holy shit, when you guys stop laughing, you don't fuck around, do you? But no, I dig being a dad. I dig it. Yeah, my daughter, she's beautiful. She's perfectly healthy. Well, with one small exception, she is incredibly gassy. But I understand that. You give daddy nothing but milk for a solid month, you know, you'll see how pleasant I am to be around. But it's like, there's also a genetic explanation for that. She comes from hardy German stock, and we Germans are really only meant to feed on three things, you know. Fatty meats, pickled cabbage, and really bad decisions. And if we don't get enough of the first two, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet on the third. Case in point, Hitler was a vegetarian. So whenever you see a guy wearing lederhosen, tell him to eat up. We're not going through this shit again. Yeah. I gotta tell you, I'm not so much scared about being a dad as much as I am scared of who I'm going to be raising this child with. The family is involved here. It's like they couldn't be more different. It's like on my side of the family, I come from a long, proud tradition of passive aggression. Like my family's pretty cool about this so far, but it's just like I just know at some point my daughter's going to get a really strongly worded letter from grandma. It's like, dear Zoa, it has come to our attention. It's like, shit, Mom, she hasn't even started to read yet. What the fuck? But then there's the mother's side of the family, which is a level of dysfunction that should be studied for the good of mankind. Let me put it to you this way, the only thing standing between her family and an appearance on Jerry Springer is fucking airfare. It could be the world's first two-part episode of Jerry Springer. But it's like, you know, we have these two families. You know, on my side we have the Royal Tenenbaums, and on her side we have the Hills Have Eyes. And now that these two gene pools are combined, I really hope they cancel each other out, because otherwise my daughter is going to be a perfect storm of fucking crazy. Like, have you met my daughter, Gollum? Careful, she's a biter. Don't mind her, she's just terrified because she's just terrified of daylight, that's all. Yeah. I dig doing stand-up comedy. It's helped me confront two of my greatest fears in life: public speaking and doing something. But I'm happy to report that I only have really two major fears left, and they're both brought on by watching way too much television. Like, I'll freely admit I'm addicted to TV. And I've got TiVo, which is kind of like switching from heroin to methadone. You're still an addict, you're just managing your time a lot better. But it's like, one thing is, like, I watch a lot of shows like CSI and NCIS, or any show with initials, really. I just can't handle full abbreviations, my attention span won't allow for it. But it's like, I notice on all these forensic shows, whenever somebody gets murdered in their own home, the crime scene guys show up and they start going over every square inch of the guy's house, trying to get a better idea for the character of the victim. That scares the shit out of me, because if they were to look around my apartment, they'd be going like, Jesus, this guy likes Star Wars. And porn, look at this pile over here, it's alphabetized, shit. So I find myself actually doing things around my apartment to make them think, if God forbid that were ever to happen, that the crime scene guys, I think I'm a lot more cultured than I really am. Like, I got a lot of first edition books out now. In the corner, there's a cello.